floods that evacuated me to the mountains, and typhoons that kept me inside a building for hours. Squid jerky. I actually like squid jerky. And I like this, the seafood, the squid, the fish is all good. One of my hardest experiences was, there was one area I went to where it was just really hard to find anyone to teach. And once we started working with the members more, I was able to overcome that. I really learned to love people just for who they are, and to not judge them, because I have weaknesses in myself that I was able to see a lot more on the mission than I was before. And once I was able to see that in myself, it became easier for me to understand what other people are going through and what weaknesses they have. I can bike without hands really well. I could bike like a mile without using my hands. I always wear a helmet because one time I flew like 6 feet in the air and headbutted a car. And I was okay because of my helmet. The word for your bottom and your shoes are really similar. So there was one missionary that I knew that went up to somebody and was like, saw their shoes, like, those are really nice shoes, but he said the other word. So it's like this old lady, and she was like, what? What did you just say to me? I had one companion who he didn't care about making mistakes at all. He just said whatever he wanted to say. And so the word, I guess, for like, if you want to say something cool, like something that's cool, you say this word called kakkoi, but it literally means like looks good. And so he was going to do like some magic trick for like this teenage girl in the ward once, and he said, come here, you want to see something cool? But he thought he was saying it was cool, but he said, do you want to see something good looking? And he's like, come here closer. And I was like, Elder, that's not okay. You know what you just said? That was my fourth area I was in. We were really struggling to find good people to teach and to help them to gain relationships with the ward, because that ward there before had really struggled to baptize. I think that area hadn't seen a baptism for about 1.5 years. And it was a big ward too. It wasn't like people, weren't inviting people, but the members just couldn't accept, I don't know what it was. It was just really hard to get them to build friendships with our investigators, and we'd find people and they'd drop like flies. And this went on for a couple months and we couldn't find anybody. So I was praying really hard every night I wanted to find someone to help that ward so badly. And I remember feeling prompted to go through our old records and start looking for people there. And so we started doing that. And I think the first day, instead of going through like the old investigators, we had already done that several times. We found a list of old potential investigators, like old phone numbers that people had gotten from people and had never been recontacted. And I looked at this list from about 1 year ago, and there was one man on there who the description was, the only description there was, we found him drunk. He said he likes church. And I said, okay, he probably doesn't have the most potential, but I'm just going to call everyone on this list because that's what I feel like I should do. So I called him up, and turned out he spoke pretty good English. He had lived in America, and he had been picked up by the Salvation Army while he was in America, while he was homeless, before he was able to come back to Japan. And he said, yeah, I remember meeting the missionaries 1 year ago. I was drunk, so I don't really remember what they said, but like I definitely remember you guys. And we met him at the church. He was baptized 2 months later. He loved everything we had to teach. He loved God. He loved Jesus Christ. And helping that man learn about Christ, and not only that, helping him gain friendships with the members in the ward. All the members loved him by the end just because he was such a friendly, nice guy. Seeing him change himself, quit his addictions to come unto Jesus Christ, and seeing the ward open their hearts to accept this new person was a really spiritual experience for me. And one of the crowning moments of my mission, when I really felt like, the work isn't mine, it's God's. And He directed us to do what we did. Nothing we did there was anything that I did. It was all the Lord. And He was just using me as His instrument to help save the soul of this man. And feeling that just made me feel so special and so loved by our Heavenly Father. I feel like I grew in a lot of ways. I really feel like my patience grew in my mission. I didn't think I was an impatient person before my mission, but I realized just being in a place where the language is hard to learn, you need patience. Being in a place where it takes time to get used to understanding the culture, you need patience. Getting along with companions takes a lot of patience. Sorry, my throat's getting really dry. Sometimes it can be hard to love people that you wouldn't normally associate yourself with, just to be friends with someone. But you really learn on the mission how to be friends with everybody and to really love as Christ would. And that's something I want to keep for my whole life, that Christ-like love. And I always want to think of myself as a disciple of Jesus Christ who can act like Christ and be nice to people and be kind and love them no matter who they are, no matter what situation you're in.